and you're going to love it too. Wiki Leaks. Man, are they at it again. Julian Assange, this guy, man, has come up with something today, releasing what he said is the full hacking capability of the CIA in a stunning 8,000 plus, you heard it, 8,000 plus page disclosure of the anti-security website. It contends is the largest ever publication of a confidential document on the agency. It's amazing all the information that they store and what they can get available. And is it government gone amok? Some people say that the CIA has gone way too far on what they can do to cross the line for communications, our phones, our cell phones. And this is going to be very interesting to see what is in there, but understand there is things that will give you the heebie-jeebies. Me personally, I don't get too bent out of shape to know that if somebody recorded my phone call, to be honest with you. If you're up to no good, you got something to hide, well, then maybe. But other than that, to be honest, I could care less. I'm seriously, I mean, what information? Time travel? I have secrets, I suppose. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want people just listening, but in the great scheme of things, I don't think I am all that wickedly interesting to the to the CIA or anybody like that of that sort. But I guess if you just get kind of creeped out by that thing, I guess. But man, it is scathing, and the report it's damning. But you're going to hear a lot more of this report because media is combing through and talking about it. So Assange is really getting a lot of play, and he really feels like he's a crusader. He says it's not about what's left, it's not right, it's not trying to persuade you against the other party, it's what government does when it goes amok. And I would have to say that the government has overreached many times, Big Brother. It gets way too involved with our lives, and I've seen it through the years on what big power can do to crush the little person and do things that the government should have never been able to do, and that's not servanthood. It's acting more like a king of sorts, and it's evil. But it doesn't seem to be very constitutional. It seems an infringement, obviously, on our rights. And apparently, a lot of this stuff was done with executive order. And from the news channels this morning, what little I was able to pick up, apparently Trump could give another executive order like he's had with so many other issues, and he could put a stop to it, to where they're not overstepping it, where they're saving and harvesting all these phone information, whether it's our phone conversations or from other countries, their conversations. And believe me, I've heard it from both sides when it comes down to the information. I've met people like myself, not really too bothered about it. I'm not such, secretive. I'm pretty open book mostly. But there are people that their privacy is darn important, and they don't want a single person listening. I mean, or recording their information. I just always thought that somebody could be listening. I mean, because it's an unsecured line. That's why for the military, you have security protocols with the president's phone, with the communications. So when the president picks up the phone, when he's in the White House, or if he's got a cell phone and it's government property, there's encryption that's put on the line that protects us. But who protects us is the big question. Who is protecting the American people? And that answer is our senators that represent us in Washington. So it will be interesting to hear the dialogue, the information, and their responses. And I am sure momentarily they will be talking about it, and it'll be interesting to hear what people have to say about it. But it is a big infringement when they overstep their boundaries. And I think that they have many, many, many times. But how far? examples. It's 18,000 pages. I'm sure it's going to be pretty scathing, to say the least. Wiki Leaks releases the entire hacking capacity of the CIA. That's the big headline. That's what we're talking about into this break right now. It says some of the remote hacking programs can allegedly turn numerous electronic devices into recording and transmitting stations to spy on their targets, with their information then sent back to secret CIA servers. One document appears to show the CIA was trying to infect vehicle control systems in cars and trucks for unspecified means. Now, that's a little creepy. To control cars. Interesting. Oh, man, this here's something else. It says an example, specific CIA malware revealed in year 0 is able to penetrate, infest, and control both the Android phone and iPhone software that runs or has run presidential Twitter accounts. WikiLeaks also revealed the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt is a hacking base, and the website provided the methods by which agents and custom officials to gain entry into Germany, pretending to provide technical consultation. Oh, man, this is a huge bombshell, and you were going to hear a lot more of it. Be careful, I guess, with your devices, and if you have your phone, it's home, put it down. So, the video is pointed elsewhere. You put a cover over your video, but hackers can get into your devices, and this has been known, but the CIA has been using these tactics as well. You just have to be also careful with your banking information on your phone. I understand now, increasingly now, because I used to think, these old fuddy-duddies, they don't want to use the computer. They don't want to get on there. Now I kind of understand. Now, there is great encryption with banks. There really is. And thank God for that. And thank God for the encryption on our website that we were able to embed on there. And we have all sorts of malware and built-in items to protect you when you're trying to make a donation or you're purchasing something. But getting into your device and being able to, just hack in your passwords and all that other stuff, that's a huge violation. That's like somebody going into your house and looking around and seeing what they want. It's very, very creepy. Stay out, please. I tell you what, there is plenty of room left over for people in the computer world that can help put a stop to all of this. And if you're looking for a trade, if you know a young person, or if you're a person just looking for a change, computers is where it's at. Learn code, learn how to make these programs. I tell you what, you'll do well for yourself. We'll be back with For the People right after this.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms, and the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew was I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it, don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on.
To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please, call or go online with your gift right now.
For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, and For the People continues on your radio. I am Keith Allen on a Tuesday. So, why are people so upset about THAAD? You don't know what THAAD is? Well, it's something to protect some folks in South Korea. It's a controversial missile defense system in South Korea. It's likely to add to the tensions, from what I understand, with Beijing and Moscow, countries that have spoken out in the past about deploying the system. China said today that it would take measures against the U.S. missile system deployed in South Korea, and that the U.S. and Seoul would bear the consequences. Does China leave? That's what China says. We firmly oppose the deployment of THAAD. The Chinese foreign minister, Greg Shang, said, we will definitely be taking necessary measures to safeguard our own security interests. All consequences entailed from that will be by the U.S. and South Korea. We once again strongly urge the relevant sides to stop the process of deployment and refrain from going further down that wrong path. Well, where were they? Where were they when Iran from Russia? Oh, wait a second, because China and Russia are actually friends. But where were they? Oh, yeah. And that was a horrible deal. And just to think that that deal was being done, well, the deal I'm talking about was that Iran purchased $1 billion missile defense system so they can go ahead and launch missiles, and then if anybody did launch anything towards them, then they could actually wildly defend themselves, as they're not even supposed to be building bombs. They're not even supposed to be launching missiles. A lot of people on this planet should not even be given the chance. And then China, of course, overstepping into the Spratly Islands, building this man-made island. The South can't protect itself against the North. We've been longtime allies with South Korea. We've kind of been embedded there since World War II. We have some armistice agreement. We're going to be there for some time. But there's going to definitely be some very interesting conversations with the United States and Japan and South Korea. With all of these particular things, Washington and Seoul says that the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD, is not meant to be a threat to China or Russia. The U.S. military said in a statement that THAAD can intercept and destroy short and medium-range ballistic missiles during the last past